Hi and welcome to another Watch Geek video. Today we'll be doing a tutorial for the module 5475 that is in this GST-200. Now, just like in all my other tutorial videos, since they're very long, you will find a table of content with time codes down in the description, so you can click on them and jump to a specific part of the video or function of the watch. However, I would advise you to watch the whole thing the first time, just so you get acquainted with all the functions that this watch offers. Now, since this is an analog digital G-Shock and it's also regular battery operated G-Shock, meaning that you will have to change the battery on it, the first thing that I'm going to show you is how to check and correct the hand's position, because this is something you will have to do once you change the battery. Why? Because G-Shocks, when you change the battery on a G-Shock, they're going to jump back to midnight. So when you change the battery on this, the digital part is going to jump to midnight, while the hands are going to stay where they are, but the watch is going to think they're showing midnight. So unless you change the battery exactly at midnight, you're going to have to correct the hands. Now, to check the hands, all you have to do is be in the home time. And to get into the home time, no matter where you are, or what function you're in, pressing and holding the mode button for more than 2 seconds is going to jump back to the home time. So once in the home time, this screen here can show you the calendar or the time. So you want to toggle it to show the time. You do it with the adjust button. Once it's showing the time, this digital time displayed here in the home time has to match what the hands are showing. So if these two are exactly the same, everything is okay. However, if they're not the same, and they're not going to be once you change the battery, you have to correct the hands. Now, as you can see on this one, everything matches perfectly. However, if it wasn't the case, you would correct it. Now, to correct the hands while in the home time, you have to press and hold the adjust button for more than 5 seconds. So you have to ignore the first beep that takes you to the time setting mode and allow it for the watch to display H set here. Once it writes H set here, you simply release the adjust button. So let's do it right now. Press and hold, still hold, and now release. Once you release it, the first hand that's going to get set up is the second hand. As you can see, it jumps to midnight. If yours spins and jumps anywhere other than midnight, you will use these two buttons to correct it. So as you can see, you can move it clockwise and counterclockwise. Once you put it to midnight, and it's indicated with this 00, you can move on. So pressing the mode button is going to switch to the hour and minute hand. And again, as you can see, the digital display says it has to show the midnight, the 000. So now we're waiting for the hands to stop moving. Once they stop moving, if they stop anywhere else other than midnight, again, by using these two buttons, you're going to correct them. Since these are perfectly aligned, as you can see, they stopped at midnight. If they haven't, again, you would use these two buttons to align them. And you can also speed scroll with them by pressing and holding, and stopping by pressing any of these two buttons. Also, as you can see, the hour and minute hand are connected. So changing the position of one also changes the position of the other. So let's align them perfectly like so. Pressing the mode button again is going to adjust the sub dial hand. So pressing it again, as you can see, the watch writes sub, and also this hand has to show exactly at midnight. If it doesn't, you would also correct it with these two buttons. So as you can see, it's moving slowly as we're pressing the buttons. Once you've perfectly aligned all the hands and you're satisfied with the position, you simply press the adjust button to exit the hand setting mode, like so. And all the hands are going to move to their correct positions. Once you've done this, now you can adjust the time of the watch. And this watch works by adjusting the digital time. Once you adjust the digital time in the home screen, the hands are going to reflect that time once you exit the adjusting screen. So let's just wait for the hands to get back into position. There. Now with the hands into position and we're in the home screen, to adjust the time and all the other settings of the watch, you simply press and hold the adjust button, but you release it after the first beep. So press and release. And now the first thing that the watch is going to ask you is your home city. And you change it by using these two buttons. So any values that you're going to set up in the adjusting screen, you change what values you change by pressing the mode button, and you change the values themselves by using these two buttons. If you have something to toggle on or off, you simply use the lower button. Okay, so let's select the home city. You can go due east and you can go due west. Once you've selected the home city, you can press the mode button. Now it's very important to select the correct time zone as your home city because the times in the world time function are calculated based on your home city. So this has to be set correctly. Since my time zone is Paris or Rome or Berlin, I can select any of these. So you don't have to find your city where you live at. It's just important to select the city that is in the same time zone as your home city. Let's leave it at Paris. Let's press the mode button. Now the watch is going to ask us for the DST or daylight savings time, which is summertime. So if you live in a time zone where summertime is observed, once the summertime is turned on, you simply go into this, and by using the lower button, you turn it to on. And as you can see, the time has just changed. Also, when it's winter time or when the summertime is turned off, you simply go into this, and again, by pressing the lower button, you turn off the DST. Let's press the mode button again. This time the watch asks us whether we want a 12 or 24-hour display for the digital time. So whether you want the military time like this, or you want the AM/PM indicator. Since I prefer military time, we're going to leave it at 24. And you again toggle it with the lower button. Let's press the mode button again. Now the watch is asking us for the seconds, and now pressing the lower button is going to reset the seconds. If you reset the seconds after 30 seconds, between 30 and 59, they're going to jump to 0 and the minutes are going to move by 1 up. So let's reset them, like so. They went to 0 and the minutes moved from 17 to 18. If, however, you reset them before 30 seconds, between 0 and 29, they're going to jump to 0, but the minutes are going to stay unchanged. So let's reset them now. As you can see, the minutes have stayed unchanged. Pressing the mode button again takes us to the hours. And now, by using these two buttons, you can go up, you can go down. You can also speed scroll by pressing and holding, and you stop it by releasing. So once you've adjusted the hours, you press the mode button again, it's going to ask you for the minutes. Now again, you can go up, you can go down. Let's put it back to 10. Pressing the mode button again asks us for the year, and now it's the same. You can go up, you can go down, and you can speed scroll. The same goes for the month, again by pressing the mode button. So you can now select the month and the date. You can go up, you can go down. The day of the week is calculated automatically, so the watch is not going to ask you for that. So press the mode button again, and the watch is going to ask you whether you want the key tone to be turned on or the mute function to be turned on. When you have the mute function turned on, you're going to have this little tone signal crossed out on the screen, and the watch is not going to make any noise when you operate the buttons. So let's put it back to key tone. Pressing the mode button again asks us for the backlight duration. If you leave it like this at LT1, the backlight is going to stay on for 1.5 seconds after you press the light button. If you toggle it with the lower button to LT3, it's going to stay on for 3 seconds. Let's leave it at LT3. Pressing the mode button again cycles us back to the selection of the home city. So in case you missed any of the settings or you set up something incorrectly, you simply toggle with the mode button until you get to the desired setting. Once you've set up everything the way you want it, press the adjust button to exit the adjusting screen. And now again, the hands are going to jump to their correct positions. And that's it, pretty much it when it comes to setting up this watch. Now, while in the home screen, the watch is going to display the day of the week. Here, it's going to display whether the snooze, alarm, or hourly chime are turned on with display right here. This hand is going to display what function you're currently in, and we're in the home time, which is the time function. And this screen here is going to display the hours, the minutes, the seconds, or if you toggle them with the adjust button like I showed, it's going to be displaying the calendar, so dates and month. So with this button, you toggle between the two. Pressing the mode button, like I said, cycles you through the modes, and pressing and holding jumps you back to the home city, to the home time. Pressing this button doesn't do absolutely anything, but pressing this activates the backlight, and the backlight on this is pretty bad. Pressing and holding is going to activate the auto light, so you have to press and hold until the little LT shows in the lower screen, like so. Once you have the LT shown like this, to activate the backlight, all you have to do is put the watch level and then tilt it to your face, and as you can see, the little LED is going to light up. Now, because this is not a solar watch, it cannot detect when it's in the dark and when it's not, so to save the battery, this function is going to turn itself automatically off after 6 hours. Or you can manually turn it off by repeating the process, so pressing and holding the light button for more than 3 seconds, like so, until the little LT disappears. And that's pretty much it when it comes to the home screen. So the next function is the world time. In the world time function, by using this button right here, you can move through time zones due east. Unfortunately, you cannot go due west, but in case you miss the time zone that you wanted to select, there is a shortcut to the UTC, so you can start over, so you don't have to go all the way around the globe to get back to the time zone you wanted. And to get to the UTC, you simply press these two buttons simultaneously. And as you can see, the watch just jumped to the UTC. So let's say if we select a time zone where we're going to travel, let's say Athens. Now this watch can allow you to turn on the DST for each time zone individually by selecting the desired time zone, and while you're in the world time, the digital screen is going to display the time zone that you selected as the world time, while the analog part still displays your home city. Your home time zone. So to turn on the DST for Athens, you simply press and hold the adjust button until the DST appears and the time has changed accordingly. To turn off the DST, again you press and hold until the DST disappears. And like I said, you can do this for each time zone individually. Another thing that this watch can do in the world time function is the time swap function. So let's say you travel between Paris and Athens, and you start from Paris and you land in Athens. Once you've landed in Athens, you don't want to keep track of the time locally by looking at this small screen. You want it to be easily visible by switching that time zone to the analog part, but you still want to keep track of your Paris time on this screen right here. To do so, you want to swap these two, and to swap them, you press the adjust and light at the same time, like so. And now as you can see, the Paris time has moved to the digital part, while the Athens time has moved to the analog part. Another cool thing about this is that the alarms are connected to what the analog part shows. So once you're in Athens and you swap the time zones, the alarms are going to ring at the time displayed in Athens. Once you travel back to swap these two back, you simply repeat the process. So you press the adjust and light, and they're going to swap back. So now again, Athens becomes your world time, while Paris becomes your home time. The next function is the stopwatch. This comes with a regular stopwatch that can do split times and first and second place. So by pressing the lower button, you can start it. By pressing it again, you can stop it. By pressing the adjust button, you reset the stopwatch. You can also do the split times, so you press the start, and to freeze the screen, you simply press the adjust button while the stopwatch keeps running in the background. To unfreeze the screen, you simply press the adjust button again. And you can also do the first and second place. So if you have two runners, when the first one goes through the finish line, you press the adjust button. When the second one goes through the finish line, you press the start stop button. Once you've written the time of the first runner, you press the adjust button. It's going to display the time of the second runner, and pressing it again resets the stopwatch. And that's pretty much it. The next function is the countdown timer. This watch comes with a 60-minute countdown timer that's settable down to the minute. So once it's displayed like this at 60, you can start it, you can stop it, you can reset it. If you start it and let it run down to 0, the watch is gonna beep. You can naturally also set it up to any desired time between 1 minute and 60 minutes. To do so, you press and hold the adjust button while the countdown timer is not running. And now by using these two buttons, you can select anything, like I said, from 1 minute to 60 minutes in 1 minute increments, like so. Once you've adjusted it to the desired time, in this case, let's say 3 minutes, you press the adjust button, and now again, you can start it. Once it reaches 0, it's gonna beep, and you can naturally stop it and reset it. And that's pretty much it. And the last function that this watch offers is the alarm. Now this watch comes with 5 alarms, with one being a snooze alarm and an hourly chime function. To toggle between the alarms and the hourly chime, you simply press the lower button. So as you can see, we're now viewing alarm 1, alarm 2, alarm 3, alarm 4, snooze alarm, and the hourly chime. Now to turn on any of these on or off, you simply press the adjust button. So if we want to turn on the alarm 1, we press the adjust button. And as you can see, it's going to say alarm 1 turned on, and you're going to have this ALM displayed right here. To turn on the snooze alarm, we go to the SNZ and press the adjust button again. And now we're going to have both the SNZ and ALM displayed here. To turn on the hourly chime, we go to the SIG and again press the adjust button to turn it on. Now we're going to have the SIG here, and the watch is going to beep every full hour. Now naturally you can adjust any of these alarms to any of the desired times. So if we select alarm 1, even if it's turned off, once you start adjusting it, it's automatically going to turn on. To adjust it, you simply press and hold the adjust button, and the watch is going to ask you for the hours when you want the alarm to ring. And again, you can go up, you can go down. So let's say we put it like this. Pressing the mode button is going to ask you for the minutes. Again, you can go up and you can go down. So if we set it up like this and press the adjust button to exit the adjusting screen, this alarm is going to go off at 4:05 a.m. If you select the snooze alarm and set it up to any time you want, let's say we put it like this at 2 a.m., the snooze alarm is going to go off, and it's going to keep repeating itself every 5 minutes until you actually go into the alarms like this, into the snooze alarm, and turn it off manually with the adjust button until this SNZ disappears. Now it's not going to ring again. Now these are daily alarms, so they're going to repeat themselves every day as long as you have them turned on. And that's pretty much it. Pressing the mode button again takes us back to the home screen. Well, this completes the whole tutorial for the GST-200. I hope you enjoyed and found it useful. If you did, please like and subscribe. And until the next video, bye.